Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Thursday, September 25th. Happy to have you guys here. We got an interesting slate on our hands, a small one of the last ones we'll be going over for the MLB season. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann, and come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS, the best ball, all one low price on both the mobile apps, the websites for all the sports we cover. And it's very easy to cancel at any time you want, no questions asked. Also, we got different promo codes you can get for 1 month free. Promo codes are LineStar, Dabble, Underdog, Better, Chalkboard, Parlay Play. There's a slew of different offers. Come check us out. And we also always have the free trial options. So now let's dive in. We're going to start by going over the perfect lineups on both sites, then the winning lineups, followed by today's high-owned pitchers, some pivots to consider, and then we'll do the same for stacks. On to DraftKings, our two perfect pitchers, Taj Bradley, Luis Castillo. Castillo was mega chalk, but he went absolutely nuts. Then we had a two-man Seattle stack. Good old Cal Riley, 2 bombs, got to 60 home runs on the season. Aaron Judge, 2 bombs. Two-man Cubby stack, two-man Yankees, some one-offs. 49.2K salary, 271 was that perfect lineup score. And I'd love to win, put up 219, and they got the dub. Congrats to you. I'd love to win. You sure did it. They had that combo of Bradley and Taj. Bradley and Castillo paid down at pitcher, paid up with hitters. They had a Yankee stack. They had a Seattle stack, and it got it done. Both teams went nuts. That was the combo you needed. And congrats to I'd love to win. You got it done. On to FanDuel side, we got Castillo, two-man Cubs stack, two-man Yankee stack. Riley as a one-off, Yoshida as a one-off, Josh Smith and Peraza, all one-offs, 35K in salary, 331.5. That perfect lineup score, and the winning lineup went to Beat That Cat. And they had Castillo. They had Riley. They had a two-man Texas stack. Grisham one-off. Langoliers a one-off. India did absolutely nothing for him. Soto one-off. Brandon Donovan one-off. Congrats to Beat the Cat. You got it done. You won 10K. Now, let's get into today's slate, will we? Thank you guys all for joining us. I appreciate it as always. Very happy to be here and rounding out the season with you guys. So on DraftKings, first thing I want to bring up is the fact that we do have an early start, 3:40 Pacific time over on FanDuel. It's a 5-game slate, and it's a 4:05 start. That is Pacific time, 7:05 East Coast. You know how it goes. So the DraftKings has this Detroit and Cleveland game where FanDuel does not. Now, getting over to the pitchers. High-owned pitcher, we got Carlos Rodon, 28% owned, 10.8K, 5-star alert score. White Sox obviously aren't very good. Rodon is pretty good. My one issue with Rodon is his K rate has came down dramatically. For a while this season, he was flirting with that upper 20s K rate that he used to have. Now, over the last 20 starts, it's down to 22%. His K rate over the last 5, 20%, 3.19 FIP. While he's a very, very good player, that upside does scare me a little bit, but he is one of the better pitchers in a better spot. So I'm fine having some. Beggars can't be choosers on this slate. There's really not a ton of pitching options. Hancock is an expected starter, but is still not solidified if he will. If he ends up being high owned, I don't mind stacking against him. I don't have a ton of confidence in him if he's high owned, might as well get some leverage action and go with some bad Colorado bats. Next, we got Shot at 8.5K, 22% owned. Tough spot versus the Mets. He's been struggling lately, but we know there's a solid ceiling there. And he's always a guy that does get away with the higher FIP than his ERA. He consistently does this, and we've seen it now for his time in MLB. He just gets away with it. There's a few pitchers that get away with it, and that big regression monster doesn't come their way quite as often. But he hasn't been good lately. 48% fly balls, 41% fly ball, hard contact. He's against a very good Mets team. However, the Mets have struggled versus lefties. And that's the one aspect here that is a little bit interesting. They're striking out at 24%. WOBA's meh. ISO's around average. Their average is around average, but they have beat up Shota in the past. All in all, I'm fine taking some shots here. No pun intended, but not one of my favorite spots. Next, we got Parker Messick. If you're on DraftKings, I absolutely love this spot for him. This dude has been dealing 2.19 FIP over his last 20, 2.3 over the last 5, 21% K rate. So you got a better FIP than Rodon. K rate slightly better over the last 5 at least. StatCast data looks good, but it is a little bit of a tougher spot. We know this Detroit lineup can hit lefties. They've done it decently all year, and K rate's not super elevated. I'm fine having some Messick. The one thing you obviously have to look at is that it is only a 6-game sample size. So Rodon is the safer pick. But I don't mind having some Messick at a little bit lower ownership. They're allowing him to go, mid-90s pitches lately, but a lot of his starts are in the 80s as far as pitch count. Nolan McLean, he's another guy that's been dealing. Another guy that is a smaller sample size. It's only 7 starts, but over those 7, 2.5 FIP, 27% K rate. Over the last 5, 2.23, 26% K rate. Winds are blowing in slightly in Wrigley, and dude has been dealing. I'm absolutely fine going here versus the Cubs. They were hitting yesterday. Can they do it 2 days in a row? Who knows? The offense does seem like it's picking up a little bit, but McLean has been incredible in his short timeout, and I don't mind going to him. Does appear to be a little more upside than Rodon, and he's lower owned. The only 2 other pivots I want to talk about is Brayan Bello. It's a tough spot for him, but at least FIP is sub 4. When he's on, he can be efficient, work deep into games, but he's given up a lot of hard contact right now. So that's the only scary thing. And that's Toronto lineup obviously can hit the ball pretty well. They've been struggling a bit recently. Don't love the pivot action, but I feel like I got to give you a couple pivots. And Michael Lorenzen is another one. And the only reason we're talking about Lorenzen is the matchup. 32% K rate versus righties over the last 20 games. Low average. ISO's obviously high. That is the Angels deal, but also low WOBA. Now, Lorenzen, the trouble spots, ton of fly balls, decent amount of hard contact, decent amount of barrel balls. He really hasn't been very good lately. But with this matchup, I'm interested. Sorry, I might sneeze. All in all, you could do worse. The ceiling's there. We've seen him get into the high 20s, low 30s, and I think it's an interesting spot for Michael Lorenzen. Just don't love his ability, but the matchup is great. Getting over onto FanDuel for pitchers. Obviously, no, that first game's not there. Rodon is the very highest owned. He probably should be. He's almost 40% owned. McLean, super interesting to me. You got to give up some projection score here, but I think the ceiling is there. It's just, we don't have the track record. The floor may not be there. It's a very small sample size that we have from him. If you want to take a chance, Shota makes some sense as well. And let's get over some stacks before we round this out. I know it is an NFL day, so not as many people care about baseball here today, but got to be here from beginning to end. We're doing it. And Yankees coming in at the highest owned stack, 100% owned. It's a 6-game slate. Only 100% isn't that high when you consider that it's, 12 total teams to choose from. So every guy being 20%-ish owned is fine for me. There's a way to get a little different in stacking the Yankees, and I would just be trying to do that versus playing the very highest owned Yankees stack. The matchup versus Davis Martin is fine. Splits are in the Yankees' favor. Highest projected stacks, we got Seattle, New York. Seattle obviously is crushing. They went off last night. Bradley Bollock really does not scare me. We got a FIP of 10. You don't often see that over the last 5. Incredibly high. Over the last 20, it's 6.72. Not great. And splits are in Seattle's favor. I think it's going to be a rough one for old Blaylock there, and the bullpen behind him is terrible. Highest value action we got is Miss Charity. I'm glad you care. I know a lot of people still do care. That's why I'm here. And yes, MLB props will be coming out at 11:30 Pacific time is when I've scheduled that show. So we'll be going over those picks there. We did well again yesterday, getting back at it again today. Thank you for showing up, Miss Charity. I definitely appreciate it day in and day out. Cleveland popping up as a nice value stack versus Troy Milton. He's another guy that hasn't been good. 8.41 FIP over his last 5, 4.82 over the last 20. Detroit bullpen's decent. I'm fine going some Cleveland. They're hot. They got plenty of bats to get it done. Also, KC's popping up. They were a little chalky yesterday. Ferris is a good matchup for him, and that bullpen is awful. I think KC is much more interesting today than it was yesterday. High ceiling play, Seattle. High leverage, we got Cubs versus McLean. I don't love the spot. Wind's blowing in. McLean's been really good, but hey, we have a track record of like 7 starts. Can he get blown up? I'm sure he can. Don't think he's going to be doing this, for his whole career without being blown up. Now, implied run totals, Yankees at 5.2, Seattle at 5.1, KC at 4.6. Those are my favorite 3. It's no big surprise there. We don't have to get wild, but Angels are a little interesting. Cleveland is interesting. And then if we come down, I think you got to go Mets and Boston as some leverage, as well as Colorado, especially if Hancock ends up being the pitcher and he is high owned. I do think that's an interesting spot to get a little different. Now that'll do it for us all. You all have a great evening. Let's make some money, and see you guys later. Talk to y'all. Have a good one. Please like, comment, subscribe to the video. Also, come join us at LineStar if you haven't already. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.